Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Nozovix here, and this is gonna be titled with the staring at branding, but it's not really, it's kind of a staring at mini. And the main reason I wanted to make this, and with the different, I guess, format, really, it's more like how Leafy does his shit. Oh no, I'm the cancer. I'm the cancer now, boy. But the reason I want to do this was because I've been seeing a certain comment pop up multiple times on the Youjo Senki Let's Watches, and it's kind of bugging me because it's people that either don't understand what they are talking about, people who think I don't know what I'm talking about, or just people all around being, well, ignorant, I guess would be the term there, and missing the joke. And the thing is, it's not even my joke, it's the series itself's joke. That joke being how I keep comparing Tanya to a Nazi. Now, I did want to save this until Saturday, but honestly, I just kind of want to put this out now before the comments roll in again. And this is going to have a little bit of a spoiler from episode 4, which is coming out this Saturday. It's already recorded, just isn't out yet. And I just came across this line, and I wanted to talk about it. So, in episode 4, Tanya is talking with a general, I believe, and he is trying to figure out why she is going to war, because she is a tiny little lollybabby, and she's about the same age as his daughter, or reminds him of his daughter, sorry. And Tanya basically beats him down and is like, oh yeah, no, my dad was a soldier, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps because he abandoned me in the orphanage, and basically use this man's empathy and caring against him, because he would not expect that from a little tiny lollybabby. And then when he leaves, she says, and I quote here, you should try persuasion when people are mentally defenseless. The fascist that came up with this is a demonic genius. So, the fascist she is talking about there is, I'm gonna butcher this name a little bit, so I apologize. It's Ernst, fuck it, I'm actually gonna put it up here. Ernst Rudin, I think is how you pronounce that. It's got a little umlaut over the U, I am not sure. But he was a Swiss-born German psychiatrist, geneticist, eugenicist, and, most of all, Nazi. He was a big supporter of the Nazi Party, and a very big person into the eugenics and all that good shit that we attribute to Mengele, or Mengele, or however you want to pronounce that. So, in this exact same episode, Tanya also puts forth a proposal to create a world war. Now, I'm not sure how she means world war, but the way that the guy reacts to reading this is very telling. It is a war of attrition, of using people as numbers and wearing down a country until they literally do not have enough people to be a country anymore. It didn't say soldiers, it said people. So that makes me think that maybe Tanya's gonna start killing civilians as well. And honestly, the fact that my brain went to that so quickly makes me think that, yeah, maybe that's not too far outside of her line of character. Now, if you're wondering how this turns into Nazism and you haven't understood it yet, Tanya is not Adolf Hitler. She did not go to art school and get turned away. She did not cause pool hall or pub hall riots and become Chancellor of Germany. She did not fight in World War I and give herself a toothbrush mustache in order to fit it into her gas mask. She is a little lolly who used to be a salaryman from Japan, right? who basically rose through the ranks to get the easiest possible life with the most amount of money he could, doing what he could do in the most ruthless way possible. Now, I would also like to remind you that currently, the highest rate of sociopaths in any profession is salarymen and upper business, like CEOs and stuff. The joke of the series is that Tanya is a sociopath. And so, when she is put in a position to create a world war, to give herself put in a position to give herself the easiest, least path of resistance, she is willing to commit genocides and holocausts and executions in order to make her life better. She is willing to literally throw people under the biggest, heaviest bus she can find if it makes her life easier. And that is because she is applying the logic of a salaryman to being a military commander. Well, that's the joke. The creator of Youjo Senki is using the current state of Japan in that you work like a 60, 70, 80 hour work week. You have no time for anything. And in order to live a comfortable life, you have to dedicate yourself entirely to your job. And the kind of person that can do that and be willing to tread on every single person in their way is a Nazi. That is the joke of the series. That is the premise, as far as I can tell. Now, if this is proven wrong, as we go forward, then I will obviously go back and I will make an amendment to this video, and I will call myself an idiot, because, I have standards, and I am willing to admit when I am wrong. But currently, if you're saying that Tanya is not a Nazi, I don't understand if we're watching, how we can be watching the same show. Especially when the word Nazi has the word nationalist in it. And what is Tanya? She's a nationalist. It kind of, I know that's kind of like an ass pull there, but that's kind of a big ol' hint if you haven't gotten it already. Tanya is literally rising through the ranks to give herself the easiest life possible, is a verified sociopath, forcibly being humbled by Being X, or Izanaki as I'm going to keep calling him, because Being X is fucking stupid. It's just, I don't understand. And as well as people saying, oh no, it looks nothing like the Nazis, take a look at Tanya's uniform, and then take a look at a SS Junior Officer uniform. The colors are a little bit different. In Youjo Senki, they're a little bit closer to green, but they are very, very similar, and there were some SS uniforms that did trend towards green. So I don't understand why people are calling me an idiot and saying I don't know my history and don't when, honestly, anyone with a passing knowledge of World War II history, and my knowledge of World War II is way more than passing. Honestly, you're more likely to sneak World War I things past me than World War II. Anyone with a passing knowledge of this should be able to see the parallels and the social commentary on the Japanese work life. And the fact that people are getting vicious and nasty in the comments because their idea of Nazis is Donald Trump supporters. If you wanna know what Nazis are, then pick up a fucking history book, alright? For real, Nazis are horrible, horrible people. I'm not calling Tanya a Nazi because I like her. I mean, I like her as a character, but I don't like her as a person. I'm not calling Tanya a Nazi because a Nazi is a thing to look up to, sorry. A Nazi is a person who is and I'm talking I'm not talking about Hans in the trenches being fucking, drafted into the Wehrmacht. No, I'm not doing it. I'm talking about the motherfuckers in charge. A Nazi is a horrible sociopathic person who is willing to kill 6 million Jews, a couple million black people, several hundred thousand Roma, I think it was. It's probably towards a million as well. I don't know. The Jewish number is more documented. The Roma and the black people and the gays and the mentally deficient people, I don't have concrete numbers for. But the people who can kill, the people who can, without batting an eye, commit an atrocity such as the Holocaust, calling them a sociopath is a fucking light punishment. The word Nazi has come to become synonymous with people who are willing to commit genocide to make their own lives easier, to give themselves a scapegoat for the people they are in charge of. And Tanya is a Nazi. Tanya is a Nazi. And if you do not believe that, then I don't understand what your problem is. The people she is around, the people who are running the military who aren't her, they aren't Nazis, at least not as far as I can tell. They are more along the lines of the old Kaiser in World War I, which was just a normal monarchistic government. Or I believe it was a constitutional monarchy at the time. But if they go along with Tanya's plan, they will become Nazis. That's the divide there. They aren't she is a Nazi. Her superiors are not Nazis, but they are on the path to becoming them. I hope I'm preaching to the choir here, that that calling Tanya a Nazi is not a good thing. It's not a, yeah, you go, you Holocaust them French people. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying it's a very good plot element to round out her character and give us a reference to who she is, as well as a very, very good social commentary. I understand this is not the same timeline that Tanya is originally from. It is not the same timeline that we are from. But the parallels between our timeline and Youjo Senki's timeline are palpable. You can see it happening. You can see the little things. If you sprinkle in a little bit of magic and a little bit of World War I lasted far too long, then it gets very similar. The Entente Alliance, for fuck's sake. That's the name of the precursor to the Allied Front, for fuck's sake. And all of the countries are more or less the same as what they are. The French are still using World War I French uniforms, although I believe some of the livery, is that the term? I'm not sure. Some of the livery is similar to the World War II French uniforms. I'm sorry this became like 15 minutes of me ranting, and honestly, my one rule for the comments is don't be a cunt, and people are breaking that rule and not doing their research and basically calling me out for something that I'm correct about, at least as far as I'm aware I'm correct about. Now, if we get into episode 5, and Tanya runs into a gypsy and is like, oh yeah, hey gypsy, what's up? And she's chill, then I will take this back. But until then, Tanya is very, very, very much on the path of the National Socialist Workers' Party or something. Nationalist Social Worker, whatever the fuck it was. Whatever the fuck it was in German, it's fucking translated. It's just kind of gross how the comments have been going. And the fact that she is quoting a famous fascist eugenicist, specifically a Nazi one, yeah, no, that's kind of a nail in the coffin for you there. And if we get into the next episode and she is shelling civilians, then you literally have no excuse to not call her a Nazi, because she is committing genocide in order to make her life easier. That is the whole deal. That's why Hitler did it. Anyway, so I've probably run out of footage at this point, so I'm gonna leave this here. Thank you for listening to my rant. This is not something I want to do very often. I do love talking about history, specifically the World Wars, but I don't really like talking about Nazi ideology, especially with all the shit going on now with all the alt-right and the Donald Trump stuff, because people are using the word incorrectly, and I don't want to be tangled up in that shit. Hey everybody, so as always, I am Nozovix. Thank you for listening to my spiel. If you liked it, hit that like button. And this is the first thing of mine you're watching. Well, we're probably not going to do too many of these, but if you want to see more of my stuff and listen to my sexy voice and get some ASMR in your ass, then hit that bell and hit that subscribe button. And I will see you in the next video, but most importantly, I will see you around.